Today we're going to make some chopstick needlers. These are very inexpensive, just pieces of dowel or literal chopsticks. And I give these to clients sometimes. I'll show you how to make these. It's not rocket science, but there are some tricks to help you go a little bit faster and more accurate.
You can use about any kind of needle as long as it's fairly small, but I'm using a John James Sharps number 7. Now here I'm cutting the needle with a pair of wire cutters, and I have a cork so I can stick one end of it so it doesn't go flying away. And then with the other, I just grab it with my hand, cut the needle, and then I've got both pieces right there. Notice also that I'm cutting 1/3, the tip end is 1/3, but the other end is 2/3, and that I'm going to use as my drill bit. You can use a cheap $10 Dremel to do this, but I'm going to actually use my drill press, which is a little bit easier for me.
Now, after taking your dowels, of course, these are already pre-pointed. You can do that at the sander or something for your chopstick needler. These are already have a taper point. And I took the tip off a little bit. I'm going to take this needle. It's a bigger needle. I measured it at 38 thousandths. I'm going to carefully, without poking myself, I poke myself every now and then, but I'm going to put it in the center of that dowel that's a little bit flat now, that very tip, and I'm just going to roll that around until it creates a little divot in there. And that's going to be important because my drill bit will want to find that hole, and it just saves a little bit of effort. So I'm going to go through and put that little tiny bit of indentation in every one of the tips.
I'm not using any real machinist techniques here. I'm just pushing it up with my fingers carefully, and it's about 10 millimeters that's going to go inside the chopstick. If you're using a Dremel tool, I suggest you put it in a vise very carefully and lightly, and then just push it on with your fingers just like I did here.
Now, handling these needles, it's easy to drop, so what I'm going to do is put the needle, to place it inside the chopstick, I'm going to use my cutters. I'm not going to press very hard and cut it, and I don't want to put it on this length up here. The third of the length at the top we want to keep pristine, so I'm going to push it in here, in this side, like this. With these dikes, being careful, I'm going to push it down to where I feel it bottom out, right about there. Now, that's about what I want with this tool. Now, you notice it's a little bit of an angle. That's okay because that gives me the option of going down like that or going under like that. So if you do accidentally put it like that, don't try to bend it because you'll break the needle, I'm telling you. But that's a good thing right there. If they're straight, that's fine too.
Now just put a drop of medium viscosity CA glue there, and that should be all you need. It should stay in just fine.
The last thing is, yesterday we did these, and so we're going to test them. I'm just going to poke it all the way down in and see if it will stay in the chopstick. And apparently this one's a success. We're just going to try them all that way, but don't do it the same day. Let the glue dry. So these should be really good, but always test them because every now and then one will come off in your hammer, a piano hammer that is, and you don't want that. So we've made 35 chopstick needlers, some with a little bit longer needle, some with a shorter one. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm teaching a class in a couple days. I'll probably give all these away to fellow technicians. And this video just showed you how to make these in a simple way. If you're kind of hesitant in making them, then hopefully I gave you a few tips. But I will also give these to clients occasionally, especially really fine pianists that say, oh, one note is just out of place, and I'll teach them how to use this and calm down one note. And that's another video, so that's coming up.